Alright, so this is the offset Outlier 2.0. This is the second run of the original Outlier, but this one had a few tweaks to its design that turned the previous version into a much more viable throw. It's Brandon Vu's signature bimetal throw, and if you don't know who Brandon Vu is, where the hell have you been for the past 10 years? Personally, I'm a big fan of him, and be sure to check the description if you want to see some of his videos and his channel. But back to the Yoyo. It's a competition level bimetal throw, and you'll see later on in the video that this is peak bimetal design. So just to sprinkle in a bit of the Outlier's history, if you need more deeper details about this throw, just take a look at Brandon's channel on how this throw began. But here's a general look on the entire story. Brandon wanted a signature throw. He couldn't find any yo-yo that really fit what he wanted, so he took the design aspects of some of the throws that he knew had good aspects about them, mainly the shape of the irony, the power of the drop near, and the performance of every other good throw in terms of stability and other factors. If you want to know more details and know more about how this throw is made, I'll put links in the description of Brandon's videos and feel free to check those out. Now for the specs. Moving on to the comparisons, the shape is actually quite familiar to a lot of throws, but generally speaking, it's known or dubbed as the 3-cut shape stated by Brandon Vu himself. So for the comparison, I'm just gonna compare this to the Yo-Yo Factory Meerkat and the Throw Revolution Zephyr 2. In terms of shape, all three of these throws have quite similar profiles. The only differences between all of these is the width as well as the weight distribution. Based on looking at the cups of the throws, you can see that the Outlier and the Zephyr has steel rims on its very edge, while the Meerkat has an inner rimmed bimetal design, and the Zephyr having a quite narrow profile and a more curved opening shape rather than the complete 3-cut design. Now with all that out of the way, let's dive into how this throw actually plays. So how long have I had this throw? I've had this for about 8 months now, and my thoughts on this thing hasn't actually changed. First impressions were just extreme. This yo-yo just looks, feels, plays, and even costs extreme. When I saw this yo-yo, I immediately thought this was gonna be a lit throw, and once I finally got it, it hit hard. After a while and 8 months later, this still plays how I always thought it would. The yo-yo is just so performance focused and lives up to its expectation without a doubt. But aside from all that, what about its characteristics? The binds on this thing are great. With the right string type and length, this is just absolutely a solid win for the Outlier. A great 9 out of 10 for the binds. Regens are alright on this one. As I've said in previous reviews, steep shapes like this one aren't exactly the best for regens, but they're still executable nonetheless. So a solid 7 out of 10 for this throw's regens. In terms of comfort, this isn't exactly the Outlier's strong suit. The rims of the yo-yo are rounded out a bit, and the general shape of the yo-yo is fairly ergonomic, but the actual shape of the throw and the angle of the rims are quite sharp and make this throw a bit unpleasant to handle when using it for long periods of time. So for comfort, this throw gets a decent 7 out of 10. When it comes to build quality, I really like how the Outlier brings the quality to the table. The throw feels very solid and built to perfection. When I first got this throw, there was no vibe at all. However, after a while of hitting this thing all over the place, it has lost its smoothness level, but nonetheless, this throw was made very well, an astounding 10 out of 10. For the finish, this thing is awesome. Whatever anodizing they used to finish this throw works absolutely wonderful. Grinds feel great on this throw, but on the shape and the cup, despite having a bit of engraving, it doesn't really bother the design enough for me to notice. So finish and grinds get a solid 9 out of 10 for me. Similar to what I've said in the finish and the grinds part of this video, the smoothness on the string is absolutely great. The yo-yo's design incorporated the polished walls on the shape of the yo-yo, and since the yo-yo came dead smooth right out of the box, I'd say with complete confidence that this throw gets an astounding 10 out of 10. For catchability, despite having a 45mm width, it's still quite easy to catch. The profile of the yo-yo is very flared out, but just wide enough for you to catch specific strings you're targeting. So with that being said, the catchability of this throw gets a solid 9 out of 10. The power on this throw is just amazing, man. It's such a great balance of powerful, but not jarring to the point that it becomes a pain to throw around. This is a very well done yo-yo, and the weight distribution is almost perfect. I'm very surprised of how powerful this yo-yo is, so in terms of power, this throw gets an astounding 10 out of 10. In terms of momentum, it's simply great. The yo-yo has a really nice weight distribution that lets you move it without much effort, despite having a powerful feel to it. And when it's moving around, it's still quite nimble. I don't have a difficult time when handling this throw, so it gets a solid 9 out of 10 for momentum. Despite being a powerful throw, this yo-yo moves fairly quickly. The yo-yo really pays off on this aspect because the shape is quite aerodynamic and makes moving this yo-yo not at all difficult to move around. So I'd say this yo-yo gets a good 8 out of 10 in terms of speed. When it comes to stability, the Outlier really brings the performance in the right spots. The shape lends itself well so that the string makes very little contact with the yo-yo, and the power that this throw has really enforces the amount of stability this thing can carry. Nothing else left to say about the stability aspect other than very well done. A solid 9 out of 10 for this one. Brandon does a lot of horizontal, and seeing how this is his signature throw, you better expect this throw to live up to his expectations. And the Outlier's ability to do horizontal is just straight up great. This throw can definitely handle any horizontal trick you have in mind, so an absolute 10 out of 10 for horizontals. In conclusion, the Outlier 2.0 is literally one of the best throws I've ever owned. Like I've said earlier in the comparison part of the video, the Zephyr 2 has a similar design to this throw, and the Zephyr is one of the best performing throws in my list. But the Outlier, the Outlier feels like a Zephyr on steroids. Everything the Zephyr could do, the Outlier can go 2 times further. It's almost literally a Zephyr with extra steps, quite literally. Now, is it worth the price? My answer to that is absolutely. If you saved enough money to cash one of these, get one immediately. This might just be peak bimetal design, and that's saying a lot. I could even go as far as to say that the Outlier is the new drop mirror. An absolute S tier throw. Some people might say, oh, you're saying that because you might be sponsored. I wish I was. Would I recommend the Outlier to you guys? Absolutely. Just get 1 or 2 of these and you're set for comp. I'm hoping there'll be a new restock soon, so whenever there is one, be sure to grab one ASAP, because these things run out almost faster than SF throws. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and comment if you guys have any suggestions or questions regarding this throw and other videos. And make sure to subscribe if you guys want more content like this, and be on the lookout for a future announcement regarding this channel. That's all for today, and see you guys on the next video.